All right, welcome to the Wanted Podcast Ep.006. Today we're going to be discussing a little bit of Chapter 1062, more so the key points rather than a full-on review, then some just current One Piece news. So, start. This chapter gave us a lot of information on Vegapunk, and a lot to do with my theory, I feel like, which is definitely still valid because I'm right about everything. A couple things. We start off with the chapter, seeing Vegapunk 02 confront the Straw Hats, or at least half of the Straw Hats.
Then we find out that her name is Lilith, is
Contacted by Vegapunk 01.
Which is Shaka. Yes.
And Shaka acknowledges Zoro and Robin's strength as not only their strength alone, but as well as the fact that they are part of Yonko's crew, Luffy. Which this is just showing some world building that's going on. You know, obviously that the word is getting out about Luffy becoming an emperor and all that.
So yeah, Shaka tells Lilith to stand back, don't engage with them because it's not worth it. Bonnie's father is Kuma,
which is something that I think we could have kind of guessed, but
yeah,
I mean, he kind of just says it like casually, like, "Oh, my father Kuma, and this is what Vegapunk did to him.
Dude,
he's coming for revenge on Vegapunk."
Do you think that it's more of a Shanks and Uta daughter thing, where it's like not his biological daughter, or you think it's actually his biological daughter?
I mean, we do see a lot of relationships in One Piece with like parents and their kids where they're not actually their parents. I think Kuma might actually be her father.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think it's more likely she's just been manipulating their ages since the Void Century. So they've just been chilling. Because we still don't know if her ability to change the age of other people is permanent, even if when she goes underwater. And then when we found her, she was a kid. So we can assume she ate the fruit when she was a kid and has been using it since then. I'm pretty sure we don't know her exact age.
Yeah, and that could possibly be why Blackbeard was holding her captive, because he probably wanted her fruit because it gives you immortality, basically. But that's just speculation.
Yeah, it's just speculation. I mean, that could be the awakened one, but we know that the op fruit, it has the immortality surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So then again, there are fruits that do have similar abilities in the first place. So yeah. Still, it's just a little bit of information we're given, you know. Why Bonnie's here on Vegapunk Island, you know, to come get revenge. So we see Luffy get upset because he finds some holographic food, and then he is angry. He goes into what appears to be Gear 5, and it looks like Zebek. Which I think is definitely just Luffy's just angry. I don't think it has anything to do with Zebek. I mean, yeah, you can argue that connection is like it's implied to need to be made, but I think it's just he happens to look like him. Because we've seen when angry people in One Piece, they all have that, like, their whitened out eyes, and then they kind of look like that regardless. So I don't think it has anything to do with Zebek.
But the thing about that time with his Gear 4th is, now this can be a joke, but it actually can be canon. Gear 5, we know that Gear 5 has more of a neat hairstyle, you know, it's not really flowing in the wind, it's more curly. But this Gear 5, it's fiery, it's flames. So my speculation is during the daytime, his hair is fiery, it's sun-like, and then during the nighttime, that's when he has his white form. Because we also see that his costume, his clothes doesn't change color, which when in Gear 5 it does at nighttime. It all changes white.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, it could be a gag or it could be he's actually doing it. I think he's actually doing it only because Gear 5 is his Devil Fruit Awakening. It's not really like a gear per se. Like, it is a gear.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that all the other gears isn't just the regular fruit.
Yeah.
We know now that it has to do with his imagination because that's what his fruit is capable of, but we know Gear 5 itself is the Awakening, so it's still just his regular fruit. He can just do more with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's just him displaying emotion, and then that's how he feels on the inside, so that's what's gonna be appearing on the outside.
Yeah, because unlike Gear 4, he doesn't have to actually like transform with force or anything. He can just tap into it because it's an awakening.
Yeah. Then we meet Punk 06, which I believe her name is Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
It's the translate. We still don't have the official translation from Viz yet.
It's actually not coming out till, at least from this point of recording, 13 hours. We normally do get our chapters on Sunday, but it looks like we're getting it on Monday.
But yeah, so we meet her. This already confirms that there is at least 6.
She kind of talks to the Straw Hats. She punches Luffy into a machine that instantly generates food, which I think one of the reasons why this is interesting is because he mentions how she doesn't have the ability to mass produce it because the blueprints can't be followed by anybody. And if we can go ahead and assume that this is a hive mind, it means that a lot of things Vegapunk does, the reason why they need to go to him, that, you know, the world government has to go to him to do it, is because he's the only one who's capable of doing it. He can't, like, sell them blueprints because apparently they can't understand it.
Yeah.
Could go into, like, a theory that Vegapunk's not from this world. Like, not only is he 500 years ahead, but he's not even from the world.
Yeah, he's not even human.
Yeah, most likely not. You know, there's definitely a reason why his silhouette was only ever shown. Not just because to hide the mystery, but even when we look at his silhouette, when we see him talk to Caesar Clown, doesn't really look like a regular person. I know people are saying that he's from the Longhead tribe, which maybe, but that's still human. But I feel like he himself is not human.
Yeah. Probably a mix.
One little short scene is we see Atlas create a hologram of some girl, and if you can look very close on her uniform, his P29 or P25, you can't tell because it kind of cuts off. So that's Punk 29 or 25. Which, it's a hologram, so it's not really confirmed if this is like proof that there is more of Vegapunks, because we are shown that there is at least 6 main ones. Yeah, I just thought that was a little interesting. I haven't seen a lot of people cover that because it is kind of a small number. You can kind of miss it.
Yeah, you could definitely miss it if you're not.
But yeah, Bonnie even points out that that can't be Vegapunk. Robin also pointed out before that Vegapunk is supposed to be an old man. We catch up with CP0 we got Haku and Kaku and Lucci talking. She's talking about their mission is to go after Vegapunk. Kaku mentions that Vegapunk is still one person, one whole person, and even Lucci shows him a chart saying that there are 6 satellites. But they are still Vegapunk, and I feel like a satellite is a device that's meant to transmit information back to a source. Whether or not that source is maybe a computer screen or something that Vegapunk sees, I still feel like it is his mind, especially with all the devices. Shaka has the whole helmet device because Shaka is shown to be logic, and that would make sense that he would need to be able to. I'm guessing it's a he. Shaka is probably a he. Would be able to manage everyone, see what they're doing, and give them the logical reason. Which, by the way, this chart pretty much is just like components of Vegapunk's mind. You know, who he is, his emotions, or his mind is like desire, wrath, wisdom, flair, evil, logic. What do you really think this is? Do you think this is really him, or is this just things he feels like is important to put into his little robots?
I think that Vegapunk is more of a narcissist in that he wanted to make more of him, and he just decided to split it up into 6 different of his core personalities. So I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
That's just my take on it.
You got Logic, Evil, Claire, Wisdom, Wrath, Desire. So Logic is Shaka, Evil is Lilith. In the chapter, she did want to attack the Straw Hats and raid their ship. Claire is Edison. Wisdom is Pythagoras. Wrath is Atlas. And Desire is Yoke. Okay, so the problem with the translation of Atlas, that when we're introduced to her, she's supposed to be 06, but on the chart it refers to her as 05. That will have to get cleared up when we get the official Viz translation. But yeah, Lucci is talking about this. They're on their way to return the failed Kuma Pacifista or Seraphim. Looks like, yeah, it is a Seraphim with the black wings. And they're going to go take it back to Vegapunk. But they're also there to eliminate all the Vegapunks. And, you know... And Lucci says, so we're meant to kill the single most useful man in the world. I wonder if this has something to do with the Lelouch incident.
So we know Vegapunk knows a lot of things about the world. He's implied again to be from the Void Century. Yeah, so they're just gonna go kill him because they were told to. But it appears that even CP0 has no clue what's really going on behind the scenes.
They aren't supposed to know, because they know if they do, they're going to end up like the people of Lelouch and just wiped from existence.
Yeah, I think that the word is probably getting out there that Lelouch disappeared, because obviously a whole country can't just disappear and then nobody knows about it. But yeah, it still seems like nobody even suspects anything from the world government to be involved with it. But yeah, that's the chapter. Definitely a very fun chapter. A lot of the visuals were very cool. You'll have to read it for yourself, but I think we discussed the key points for now. Anything you gotta add? I think we're good with that.
That was phenomenal.
Right, so we've really discussed the chapter. I'm just gonna quickly say I still think the Vegapunk hive mind theory is valid because the 6 Vegapunks being referred to as the satellites, the zeros on their uniforms still imply that it goes into double digits, I feel. So there could always be more around the world. These are probably the 6 main ones that represent his mind as a whole. And then, so referring to them as satellites and the fact that they can all, that at least one of them, Logic that we know of, can see what everyone else is doing. Therefore, Vegapunk would also be able to see what everyone else is doing. Implies that they all at least think the same way. They all claim to just be Dr. Vegapunk. They don't claim I'm Punk O, whatever their number is. They just say that they're Vegapunk. But yeah, that's just some adding that I might even make whole nother video talking about that, but yeah. All right, what is our next topic?
This is still related to Vegapunk, but do you think that he's American?
Vegapunk is American?
Like Frankie.
Frankie? Potentially. I honestly always kind of thought of Vegapunk as like a German kind of guy.
Yeah, Vegapunk. That sounds German.
Yeah. He's most likely so he might still be human, but he's 500 years ahead of everybody. could be different in some kind of way. He might. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's from the future. He could just be someone who is gifted with the intelligence of the future.
Yeah.
Could be a whole thing with that. Oda did say that we were gonna get the backstory to, or if it was through Vegapunk. So he's got something to do with that. But we'll have to wait and see, because this arc it's building up to be a really important arc in the story of One Piece.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see where it goes from here.
Definitely. So, the chapter review is finished. Now let's hop into open discussion.
What do you want to talk about first? Let's get to our next topic.
Yeah. So,
Talk about a few
you
things.
said you have a few things to talk about?
I mean, there's a few things we can talk about. It's just going on.
Oh, yeah, like New York.
Yes, New York. Downtown, or the New York Times Square, I should say. The One Piece event. I personally haven't seen so much of it. I've seen like a lot of clips. It's definitely something that you had to actually be there for to really get the experience anyway. But I mean, it looked crazy. There's a lot of fans. Just shows that there is that market for One Piece.
It shows. Like it's showing now. Like the thing about it is, the reason why people are so hyped is because one, it's Times Square. That's a lot of people who don't even watch anime are going to see that and be like, oh, what's this? What's this One Piece anime? What's this going to be about? And they're probably going to see the movie anyway. But the thing about it is, that what people are getting so hype about is that Dragon Ball Super Broly, the best Dragon Ball movie up to date. It did 122 million worldwide box office. One Piece, it beat that by a couple million, 129 million, but it hasn't reached America yet. Those stats for the Dragon Ball are after it reached America. So it's going to double that, obviously, when it premieres November 4th. And that's why people are so hyped, because it's like One Piece is finally getting the recognition it deserves.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just the fact the love for One Piece really is everywhere. People kind of try to downplay it and be like, it's really only popular in Japan, and that's kind of it. Well, it's true that it's very popular in Japan. It's still popular all over the world. Even when we were seeing clips of, like, you can look up the clips for We Are being shown in theaters at events. There's clips from all around the world. Everyone is singing this one opening. But it's in Japanese, but people all around the world are singing the lyrics. Everyone, grew up with One Piece in some way.
And that's the great part about it, A lot of people sleep on the anime. It has its flaws, but overall, One Piece has made a huge impact on everyone's lives that have watched it. From what I've seen and what I know, a lot of people say that One Piece changed them for good, made them, and made them a better person. And that's the beauty of it,
I mean, there's a lot of things, about One Piece. One Piece got me into, like Sanji, he got me into cooking. When I was younger, no, but as I got older, I think once I was like 15, I was like, man, cooking is actually really cool. I would look back at those Sanji episodes, and I started getting into that. Like, I know a lot of stuff with that now. But still, just even things like meeting people, because everybody, when you meet someone that likes One Piece, you are like, unless you're like those weird ass kind of fans, you are just instantly friends.
You don't discriminate.
Because it's just like, there's so many One Piece fans, but at the same time, it still feels so scarce because it's just not that that normie media that everybody knows about. Yeah, people probably know of One Piece only to just hate on it.
That's one thing I don't like about One Piece.
It will never be.
That's one thing I don't like about One Piece haters is that they don't even give the show a chance. And when they do, they go into it with the hating mindset. You know, they go into it to hate on it instead of going into it with a kind or blank view to the series. They go into it with a bias that it's already bad, so they're not gonna like it, and in turn them not liking it because they have that mindset going into it.
Yeah, I think what of it is like people think of like pirates, and a lot of people think pirates are boring. I've always thought pirates were really cool. I grew up watching the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I always thought those were cool. So One Piece was something I just really liked. But people think of pirates and think, oh, they think that's lame. Fucking lame. I don't want to see that shit. But like, One Piece really is more than just a pirate anime. That's honestly the pirate aspect. It's like more of a background kind of thing.
You don't really pay attention to it. And that's the thing too, man. People like to say, oh, it's just pirates, but I mean, Naruto is fucking ninjas. Like, it's like, I don't understand what's the difference here. Both of them, if you look at it in that aspect, both of them are, you know, both of them can be looked in that way. You know, people can look at Naruto and be like, oh, I don't want to watch ninjas. Ninjas are for kids. Oh, ninjas suck. They don't even wear masks. You know, people could be like that with that show. But when it comes to One Piece, people can also be like, oh, pirates, oh, fuck pirates. You know, it's just the way that you look at it.
I mean, even my girlfriend, when I finally got her to watch it, she was like, when I saw you watching it, it didn't look like a pirate anime, it just looked like an action one. Because she would see me watching like Wano. And like when you look at it as just Wano, those kind of arcs, you can't really tell that it's a pirate show. But when they're in arcs where they're barely on their ship, yeah, you can't tell. Yeah, it's just really just one of those things you do have to give it a chance. You can't just judge it. Like even when there's shows that I really don't like, but I at least gave it the time to watch it. I got through a lot of like me personally, I really don't like Attack on Titans. I watched 4 seasons of it and I really wanted to like it because everyone's saying it's really good, but it's just like, man, I couldn't get into it. Demon Slayer, fell asleep on the first episode, that's why I don't watch it. I fell asleep the first episode, I wasn't even tired. That show was actually way too boring for me. So I don't like it. I gave it a chance and I didn't like it. But the thing is with those are modern day anime. When you go into a show like One Piece or Dragon Ball, even though Dragon Ball is really popular, you gotta go into the mindset like, this is an old show. Things were different back then. It's not animated the same way, it's not paced the same way. You know?
Well, I completely understand. Alright. Now it's theory time.
What kind of theory?
Yeah, well, it's not my theory. I found it on a YouTube video, but I kind of added to it. So the theory is that Joy Boy, it's a very long theory. I'm gonna just cut to the chase. Joy Boy, he used to ride on a ship, and his ship's name is Davy Jones, actually, and the ship is actually a whale that travels under the sea. Right, and it shows up in one point of the world at a specific time and place in a specific day, and that's how you basically get the One Piece, right? It's his treasures on his ship inside this whale. Now it's not a small whale; it's a bigger one much bigger than Laboon, right? And it makes sense because islands can be stored inside of whales, you know. Laugh-tail can be stored inside of a whale because it's an island, you know. And if it's a bigger whale, then it can definitely be stored inside of it. And why do I say this? Well, you know, Eam, obviously back then, Joy Boy, it's speculated that Joy Boy and Eam had a bit of a rivalry going on, and it would make sense to travel under the sea instead of above the sea, because somebody can obviously spot their ship and Eam can destroy the land. But with being underwater and being deep in the ocean, it's kind of harder to do that because, you know, water, and you cannot, nobody's under there, so they can't find you. And it makes much more sense knowing that Luffy and Joy Boy had the voice of all things, right? And you can possibly, you know, control animals and stuff like that with it if you have a very good sense to it. Now, what I added on to it was that the reason why there's 100-year gap is that every island that Joy Boy went to was destroyed by Eam. Every monument, every people that knew them, basically like how Luffy went to Alabasta to Wano, all of that would have been destroyed in Joy Boy's, if Joy Boy went there, if it was Joy Boy's time. Because obviously Eam wanted to erase every aspect of Joy Boy. And it would make much more sense why there was a 100-year gap, because it was happening in real time during his time, you know? Islands were vanishing. Everyone that Joy Boy knew was dead, you know, besides his crew. And it got to a point where he got tired, and it got to a point where he found out about it, you know, after he went on his journey and after he tried to go back to these places that they were going, right? And it would make sense that he got mad and found out it was Eam and tried to go there, right? And obviously he lost to Eam. That's why she has his huge straw hat, because she finally took down Joy Boy. Now, why would she be so infatuated with Joy Boy? Well, this was supposedly during a time where devil fruits weren't very prolific, or weren't very like, let's say, here at all. You know, 800 years ago, let's say that. So let's say that there wasn't even devil fruits at the time, and Joy Boy was like the only one with powers. It would make sense that she would try to cover that up, but, you know, obviously devil fruits expanded and all that, this, that, and the third. And it would make sense that Joy Boy would leave a message there, because the poneglyphs are indestructible. The indestructible poneglyphs that can survive an island being destroyed were passed on through the generations, and it'll lead you to the correct coordinates at a correct time and place, so that Eam doesn't know where his treasure is or where his legacy is to destroy it. Now,
I think that's
a pretty good theory, and it makes much more sense, you know, why there is a 100-year gap between that time, because it wouldn't make sense if, I mean, it would, but it wouldn't be ideal if, you know, Joy Boy finished his adventure and then he died, and then Eam tried to destroy everything after that, because, you know, much more people would have known about Joy Boy if that was the case.
Most likely.
While, like, after every island that he went to, he probably escaped right on time before they destroyed it, without knowing, basically. And, you know, when he went back, tried to say hi to his friends, he realized they were all dead, the islands were gone. He realized it was the world government's doing. Actually, I don't even think the world government was even a thing at that time. I think Eam created the world.
Probably not. It was definitely something Eam over time developed to
prevent
cover up her tracks.
Joy Boy. Because Joy Boy must have been a threat to her, like a real threat. If she really wanted to destroy everything about him. And what a better way to do it than masking it with justice, with the police and the world government. You can do that. I mean, you can destroy an entire city without anyone knowing. Not city, an entire island without anyone knowing. Look at O'Hara. Nobody talks about the massacre of O'Hara because they literally erased it from existence.
Yeah. Only really Robin and Aokiji. Then whoever else was there, I'm not really sure. They remember it.
You never hear like people talk about the Devil Child, like, oh yeah, Robin, the Devil Child, but they don't know her as the last survivor of O'Hara. They only know her as the Devil Child because that's what the government framed her as.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a lot. Yeah,
It's a good theory, though. I think it works.
I don't think I really got any theories at the moment. No, I'm still really working on this Vegapunk thing. Because I feel like it's like, 'cause I haven't heard anyone say what I'm saying. Like it's been I've heard the clone and robot things, but I feel like this whole satellite thing and implications from Shaka's head device kind of can be used to prove that Vegapunk might just be an old guy hooked up to a machine and it's all
like a
feeding into
Nagato.
him. Yeah.
That'd be funny and weird. I wouldn't want him to be a Nagato where he's like. I wouldn't want Vegapunk to be like Nagato where he's like dormant and he can't move and he's old as fuck, like an old fart, and he just like controls people with his mind. I wouldn't want that. Like in the whole pain situation, I wouldn't want that. I would want Vegapunk to at least be like robotic or something, or be a unit to Frankie. I want this to be Frankie's fight. Frankie steps up, tells his crew to back down, and Luffy's like, leave him be. Luffy's like, leave him be. We're gonna watch this fight, just like how we did with Mihawk and Shanks. Not Mihawk and Shanks. Mihawk and Zoro.
I mean, Vegapunk might even be like a young guy who figured out to keep himself young with like being a cyborg. We don't know for sure. It's just the fact that we've heard the name Old Man Vegapunk, but for all we know, Old Man Vegapunk isn't even the real Vegapunk. There could be another one. But yeah, I think that when we finally get revealed who Vegapunk, truly is, what he looks like, I don't think anyone can really guess it.
It'll definitely be unexpected.
Yeah, but that's it for the podcast.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think it's a quick little video. We always got stuff coming out. The new chapter is gonna come out, and the new chapter 1062 is gonna come out officially, and then 1063 comes out. We should get our leaks by Wednesday, and then scans by Thursday or Friday. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep.
You want to close us out?
Thank you guys for watching.